Okay, we got Night Captain Murky. Haven't seen this pet in a long time. Twilight, big problem pet, and then Sunborn Valkyr. So he's got 2 humanoids and a beast. I think I'll start with my Skyfin. If he goes for Shield Storm, I probably just want to swap him out. I can Acid Rain the Shield Storm. Other than that, I can't do a whole lot about it. Who does this bring in? 1424. Dang it. It brings in Twilight. Well, I think it's still worth it for me to avoid him going for a Shield Storm if that's what he has, which I would assume he does have Shield Storm. Alright, he's gonna go for Cold Darkness. It shouldn't take my flying racial. I think it's worth it to go for a dot here. And then if I can wild magic, maybe it's worth staying in, although I lose my flying racial. This guy's pretty useless once I lose my flying racial. Is it worth saving him to swap? Let's bring in the Warbot. Eat the Surge of Light. Okay. Then he might have Twilight Fire, so let's... Thinking... I think I'll bring the Jade Mist Dancer. Yeah, I didn't want to eat that dot if that's what he's running, which, yeah, that was a good swap, I think. Oh, I've taken a lot of damage, though, but he's cooldown locked right now, so we can go for probably Rain Dance? Okay. He might have Shield Storm. I probably should save Acid Rain until he uses that, and then just use it to break the shields. And once that Shield Storm is gone... Yeah, I figured he would have Shield Storm. Okay. So... Oh, he has Charge. Okay. Not sure. He probably has... I would imagine he has Whirlwind. That would make the most sense. Maybe I go for 1 attack. He could have Dodge. So I think I'll go for 1 more... Okay, he swapped. Not sure what this guy's going for here. So I still have my flying racial, which is good. I'm thinking about... Oh, but he might be able to take it with... He might be able to take my flying racial with AoE. I forgot this guy has AoE. He went for Surge of Light. Okay, so I see the idea here is he's just running 2 Surge of Light pets and then Shield Storm, I guess. I think I'll go for Minefield. Not sure if he has the AoE yet. If he does, he can take my flying racial. Let's go for a missile. Okay, he has the basic attack. I think what I want to do probably is stay in on Warbot till he dies. Then that'll give me a free swap to my Fell Afflicted Skyfin. It'll be really unfortunate if I get stunned here. Okay, that's good. That's good I didn't get stunned. Still have a Minefield out, and then if I swap him, it brings in the lowest health pet, which is Twilight, so that Minefield will kill him instantly, since it is strong damage. So yeah, let's let Warbot die. He's really slow, so he's not particularly useful here. Okay. Alright, let's bring in our Fell Afflicted Skyfin. Wing Buffet will kill him. Fell Emulate will not. Let's use the Wing Buffet and kill both the Valk and Twilight. Then I think I can 1v... yeah, I think I can 1v1 him with the Jade Mist Dancer because I'm a little faster. Go ahead and break that shield. Still don't know what he's running here, but I would imagine it's probably Whirlwind. I guess we're about to find out. If he had dodge, I'm sure he would have pressed it. So yeah, it must be Whirlwind. But I think we're in the clear at this point. We barely survive. Okay, interesting team. I don't see this pet a whole lot anymore. So Cyclone would probably do really well versus him. Because Cyclone passively removes all of the shields, even if you don't have an accuracy modifier. Let's see, Sticky Surge would remove it. Immolation will also passively deal with shields pretty well. How would this team do versus him? Well, the Mechanical Yeti's strong versus Twilight, but he's slower. But I have Sticky Surge. Let's try this team. It's not like a perfect counter or anything, but I feel like I would have a pretty decent matchup. Okay, we have 3 undeads. And I have a humanoid, but he doesn't have any undead damage, so I just have to deal with the racials, basically. I think I'll start with the imp. It's going to be my best opener. Probably want to end up cleaning up with the Mechanical Yeti, and I can use him to soak a lot of... Let's swap this guy. I can use him to soak a lot of magic damage. The only thing I have to be careful about is this one right here has potential to be strong damage with Seethe. Uh-oh. He's about to one-shot somebody. Let's use our Magic Racial to soak this Soul Rush. Ah, it is Seethe. Okay. So I better try to burn this guy down with Petal. I need a Sticky Surge, but ideally I want to use it as late as possible so that I have it for as long as possible. Let's go for a heal. As long as my Immolation's ticking, it is to my benefit to use my healing. Okay. Got stunned. That's unfortunate. He does strong damage to my mechanical. Could stay in or I could bring in the imp. Well, the imp is full HP, but I don't have Nethergate. I guess I'll bring in the imp since I'm stunned anyways. He's going to do a lot of damage with Seethe, but even a high end probably won't kill me unless he crits. And he's taking 100% extra, or 50% extra damage. Oh, that was a low roll. That was almost as low as like a high roll. But it was multiplied by 100%, so yeah, that was a very low roll. I kind of feel like he's just going to go for another Enrage. Oh, he tried to juke. Yeah, that's the power of the imp. They outplay themselves if you don't press Nethergate. Well, swap him out. Don't want to find out what he has planned for me. And he'll probably go for an Enrage. So let's go ahead and hit him. He went for the YOLO. Alright, so... He doesn't have AoE since he has Enrage instead of Spirit Fire Beam. So we can go for the high roll and maybe kill him. And he dies to Immolation. I feel pretty confident I should be in the clear at this point. We can use our Magic Racial here to soak that Enrage attack. It's helping me out that he has Enrage instead of Spirit Fire Beam, because I can just kind of swap my low health pets out safely. Oh, we don't have Immolation rolling anymore. Oops. Oh well, I think it's okay. It's probably still fine to go for the heal. Yeah, because I have Nethergate coming back soon, so... I think what I'll do is I will bring in the Fiendish Imp. Okay. Yes. Reflective Shield. I don't think Immolation damage gets reflected back to me. Nethergate will, but he still won't attack this turn, so it's worth it. And then he has no AoE, so I can safely swap here, but maybe I should actually just let my imp die. Or I could just swap to the Mechanical Yeti and take weak damage. Because what if he goes for Soul Rush and he kills my Petal? I'll be sad about that. I think the safe move is just bring in the Yeti. And I don't need to worry about the speed necessarily. Alright, we go for probably... He doesn't have Soul Rush anymore. I don't think he'll kill Petal. Maybe we swap here. Let's risk it. I don't think he's gonna, like, high roll a Spirit Firebolt and kill me. No, he had Breath of Sorrow. I guess it was better to eat that on Petal than my Mechanical Yeti, because now he only has weak damage versus me. I forgot that he might have elemental damage there, so that was lucky. Alright, let's go for Call Lightning, buff up my Immolation ticks. Okay, this guy's dead. Okay. He might go for Reflective Shield, so I'm actually just gonna pass. I would imagine he'll hit me with Soul Rush, but okay, he got the stun. This is actually really getting close, because now he has Breath of Sorrow in a turn. Fortunately, I have Resilience, so I think what I want to do is just stay in and take the weak damage. I have Immolation ticking, so I'm gonna heal up for a little bit on the back line for the next 3 turns. We have Ion Cannon, 732, plus 25%. I should actually just calculate how much that is real quick so that I know. This isn't a pet I use very much. Okay, yeah, whatever it is, it's more than 704, so let's go ahead and send the Ion Cannon. And he can't stun us because we have Resilience. So that got a little bit close because of Soul Rush RNG, but at the end of the day, I had a good matchup versus him. And now if I get him, I know he has Breath of Sorrow and Enrage. Okay, so yeah, having a mechanical was very helpful versus all that magic damage. Okay, so what was that number? Wasn't it 732? 732, and then we'll multiply that by 1.25. That's going to be 915 damage. Unless it's versus a mechanical, or, sorry, unless it is versus a beast or an elemental. It's 915 mechanical damage, alright. 915 under lightning. Cool. That'll maybe come in handy. I don't use this pet a lot, but let's go ahead and reload to save that note. I think having a mechanical could be useful. What was that other guy I fought? It was Twilight. Yeah, there are a lot of Twilights typically in my bracket at this time, so maybe a pet that's good versus Twilight. Okay, well this team has a mechanical, and it has 3 pets that are great versus Twilight, so let's send it. This team is 18-0, absolutely dominating. It's a good team. I don't think it would beat, like, Triple Sandstorm or anything, but it'd probably do okay if I queue into, like, a lot of Darkness pets, maybe. Because I have a really strong Darkness pet, and I can probably also take out, like, a healing team, like a Blossoming Ancient, if it isn't played that well. Okay, we got a rematch, and I have the advantage of knowing what he is running now. So he's probably going to start with this Fragment of Desire. Okay, right. Let's do this. If he's starting with this guy, all he has is magic damage, so... Oh, also, let's test. Does Build Turret get reflected back with... Oh, he swapped to Soothe. I guess I'm okay if he wants to put me to sleep. I guess technically I don't have the advantage of knowing what he's running because he's changing up his moves. He put me to sleep. He has Reflective Shield up. I take weak damage from his attacks. I think this is my best move. Uh-oh. I played myself. I am asleep and he's about to hit me hard with a Seethe. But what if he goes for an Enrage? I'll just pass. Yeah, that's what I figured. So now, we can just swap him on his Enrage. He takes extra damage from it. This team will have no trouble beating this team. We can go for another build turret. I think what I'll do, though, is go for Missile first, in case he goes for Reflective Shield. Let's go for another Missile. He put... he put Soothe on me while I have Resilience. That was a unfortunate decision. And my team hasn't taken a single point of damage yet, so this is looking good for us, I would say. Brother, if you go for an Enrage right now, I just feel so bad for you. Please do not press Enrage. Oh no. Dude, it's round 10. You have to do some damage to me. Come on. Hit me with something. I feel bad. Your Delver just 1v3'd his whole team. What a monster. Good job, Mr. Delver. Alright. And he would also do great if I queued into the Shield Storm team. Alright, solid shutdown by Mr. Delver. Didn't even matter what my other two pets were. I could have had two Alec plushies, and that was a that was a free win. Alright, let's tone it back a little bit. This team was, I think, a little overkill. Okay. Still think having a mechanical is good, so maybe the knockoff Blingtron? Do I have... knockoff Blingtron. Do I have any teams that I like with this? Well, didn't I play this team last time? What did I play it into? Let's see here. We got Kovok. Kelpfin. We're looking for Kelpfin. Oh, we played it into Daisy. That was kind of a free win. But only because he had Daisy on his team. These other two pets were a little bit of a problem. I like this team. Let's play it. I think if I queue into either of these last two teams, I'll have a pretty decent matchup. If I queue into something a little more... a little higher tier. Well... there are some decent teams that this combo can do well into. Like, it used to do very well against... There was like a double darkness team that I would queue into a lot. It's actually kind of what I designed it for. This is not an example of a team that it would do well against. Just idle alone is a big problem. These other two pets are very strong. I don't think I can win this, but maybe I'll stick around and try. Let's start with Kelpfin. I'm assuming he starts with the idle. Okay. So, we can stun him. No deflection. That's good. I have a decoy breaker. I take weak damage from darkness. I can't really do jack shit about that sandstorm. That is a big problem for me. Let's go for Tail Smash. What I can do, potentially, is bring in Kelpfin. Or, sorry, bring in Kovok, I was going to say. Take weak damage from Call Darkness. And then maybe Pheromones, that Anubisath idol? I don't know. I still take a lot of damage from Nocturnal Strike, but he's about to proc my Beast Racial. Okay, do I go for Pheromones first or Poison Fang first? I feel like Poison Fang is a little better, because what he's probably going to want to do is Nocturnal Strike my face. I missed. Come on, dude. You can't make this shit up. It's over. I can't come up. I cannot beat this team if I'm just gonna miss. Oh well. At least I get my pheromones. I didn't miss my pheromones. I think it would have been worse maybe if I missed my pheromones. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, that's so bad that I miss. I think even if I didn't miss, this team is just significantly higher tier than this team. Yes, yeah. He has Darkness and Sandstorm and Decoy. This is going to be a tough team for me to think of like a strong counter. I'll go for Make It Rain. We have a Beast Racial Pheromones ticking away on that idol. I think what I probably want to do is Booby Trap Presence. Yeah, let's send it. I mean, if I miss another time, I'm just gonna quit. It's just over. I mean, it probably already is over, but it's beyond over if I miss again. I think I want to save my mechanical racial, so let's bring in Kelpfin. Alright, half my HP is gone in one turn. Really well balanced game, Blizzard. That's super fun. It's super cute that I lose half my health from one ability. That has no drawback whatsoever. He's just able to use a move that hits as hard as Surge of Power and then keep attacking me and swap if he wants to. Really cool. Alright, I hope I miss. That'd be super sick. Okay. Well, a low roll kills him. Technically, it's a 2v2. The Dread Hatchling is dead now. Okay, cool. He's banking on that 10%. I have to go for the attack and hope I don't miss, and that I high roll. Of course I low roll. Sick. Awesome. Really cool. Alright. Of course I miss, and he doesn't. Okay, how do I didn't even think about how to counter him. I kind of just want to play like a tier 1 team. Don't want to think about getting creative. I hate idols so much. And Darkness. He even uses other pet. For all I know, he has Armageddon. He might not even have Decoy. I think I just need something that can beat Darkness and Sandstorm. And the only thing I can think of that can do that is probably like the Living Sandling. Living Sandling would be good versus him. Let's see what we have here. We got, oh, wait, I just remembered. I got a new pet. Maybe I'll try it out versus him. Let's see. Foul Wing Buzzer. I found myself a Power Speed breed. I don't have the SS yet, but let's do, since yeah, I'm thinking let's do this. Since he probably has a decoy, I'll have my own decoy. I have a decoy breaker here. This is a very, very strong team, and I haven't played it yet. If I queue into him, I feel like that's a fair fight. He has 3 tier 1 pets. I have 3 tier 1 pets. I'm hoping for a strong team, because I want a good fight. Awesome. He gets his win and dodges. Okay, that's lit. I don't even want to fight this team. It's just gonna not even be like, oh, whatever. Oh, we'll play it out. He has 3 undeads. Maybe he'll make something happen. I guess I do have a flyer, and he has a bunch of magic damage. Maybe he'll actually win. I highly doubt it, but yeah, this is not the kind of team that I want to be fighting with. This team, I want to play versus. I want to play this team versus like a team that's equal in power. Okay, he has spirit spikes now. Yeah. I'm really annoyed I'm fighting this guy. Yeah, that's a nicely balanced ability. He blocks my attack and I still get the dot on him. That's cool. This pet is so broken. But it would do really well versus, well, first of all, I have a weather changer, so what he would probably do is I would use Poison Protocol versus the idol, and then he would use Sandstorm, like a robot, and I could just turn his weather immediately. And, yeah, then I don't have to deal with Sandstorm. So that's why I wanted Anomalous. Was to, first of all, cleave his flyer. And I have strong damage. And I'm faster than him once he loses his flying racial, but also, um, can change that Sandstorm weather right away. And I have a decoy breaker with Poison Protocol. Although that's probably not going to be a big deal. I just basically ran the MPD so that I can 1v1 his decoy pet. Because I think the MPD probably wins that fight. Especially with all the AoE damage that this team will be dishing out. I'm thinking I will bring in my Foulwing Buzzer. This team is a little bit scripted. Usually you start with Anomalous, you bring in this pet, and you just clean up with a third pet. But it's so strong, it doesn't actually really matter that it is scripted. Let's go for Great Sting. Not sure what took me so long to think about that. I guess I was thinking, do I swap him out? But, no. I would if he had Soul Rush, I think. So now we have triple dots on him. Well, 3 rounds of dots, and I'm faster, so we'll just go ahead and swap him out before he hits us with probably a Soul Rush. And then I think I will just stay in and attack him. This is an example where, so I want the SS because versus this team, I would still win with the SS. I just win a little bit harder with the extra power from the PS. But versus like really high tiered teams like Karaji Guardlings and like Twilight pets, like stuff that are 293 and faster. The 329 speed is going to be more valuable than the slightly higher attack power for my abilities. Kind of want to play this same team just so I can try to get that other guy, but I'm just going to be so annoyed if I get this same player. So maybe what I will do is try to think of another team that's a little more creative that I think will be able to beat him. I feel like if I run a team that's good versus Darkness, most likely I can beat that idol player. Like this team doesn't have pets that are great versus the idol, but I guess these two aren't terrible. Now I don't have a decoy breaker. Maybe this team might still lose. Okay. Let me just look up Darkness real quick. Darkness. What other teams do I have? So like this team would probably beat him. I don't have a decoy breaker, but this guy's really good versus the mechanical and the flyer. This guy's a little bit of a weak link versus that other team. MPD's a solid pet. I'm thinking Anomalous is just a good pick versus that team. Anomalous. Well, I just played Anomalous. Fine. I'll just keep looking for teams. I didn't see anything that was immediately catching my attention as a great counter to him. Okay, maybe the Nightshade Sproutling. The Nightshade Sproutling is good versus all 3 of these pets, actually. Maybe we play Degen Hours. How would this team do? Well, no Decoy Breaker. Stupid, noisy Deathwatch hatchling. Okay, no Decoy Breaker is a problem I'm seeing. I do have a Sandstorm Changer. And this guy can't be hit by Nocturnal Strike. I'm just going to play the team because I like it. Not because I think it'll do fantastic versus this guy. And if I get him again, then I'll just play probably one of my Foulwing teams. Because I feel like those will probably do well into him. Alright, well. Unfortunately, we just keep getting this poor guy. So that sucks. I guess I do have a flyer again, and he has a lot of magic damage. Maybe I don't think I have a chance of losing. I'm not going to lie. My team is just stronger than his. This kind of sucks. There's like teams like this that I don't want to be playing teams like this into, and then there's teams like that one that beat me, who maybe he's dodging, maybe he's getting somebody else, hard to say, who I'm not gonna beat if I play teams that are like at this level. Oh well. Luck of the draw. I think I'll just go ahead and take this free win here. Yeah, he's running drain power. This poor guy's doing everything he can to try to make this combo work, and it's just not that strong. I do have attack reduction. Maybe it's I'll just go for the ball because I ran out of time. Not because I think it was the right move, but because I ran out of time. Okay. Let's swap now. Two. Well, two. Maybe I just stay in, honestly. I guess I'll bring in the Deathwatch Hatchling. And go for a leap. Okay. Now I wonder, does he go for an Enrage? Wasn't he running Spirit Fire Beam last time? Let's stun him. Let's play it safe. I can always swap and then blind the Enrage if that's what he's still running. Now, do I want to go for... Yes. I was saying, do I want to go for the reapplying the Whirling Talons? And I do. If he goes for Soul Rush, it will kill me. That's okay. I think it's worth the Whirling Talons damage. Oh, he should have... He should have probably pressed one of these abilities. I mean, it's also possible he's still running Spirit Spikes. Alright. I guess now is a great time to blind him. Maybe I could have brought in the Deathwatch Hatchling and used Leap. Alright. Call Darkness kills him. Probably just bringing my Deathwatch Hatchling on this Undead round. Probably not worth going for Bleed. He's already only 60% HP. Could go for the stun, but what if I miss? I think it's better to just go for leaps, because if I miss, at least I still have the speed buff. Okay, now I'll go for the stun. Okay. Good job, team. I think I'm at 5 wins, but like 3 of them were freebies versus this guy, so maybe I'll actually just go for 2 more and just make it a long video. If I keep getting this guy, though, I probably just have to start over, though. This isn't really very exciting content, just fighting these 3 face pets that are all, like, you know, mid-A tier. Let me take a second to think about what might do well versus this guy. For 2 reasons. One is I want to have a chance versus him, and 2 is I'm kind of hoping I don't queue into this team anymore, because it's boring. Okay, let's look at Autumnal Sproutling. Autumnal Sproutling is going to be decent versus the bird and the idol, and not terrible versus the decoy pet, but if I could find a team that has a decoy breaker. Okay, let's see here. We have Gurgle, so I could maybe go for Cobble shell versus the mechanical. I'm kind of banking on my autumnal sproutling being able to 1v2 these pets, and he's good. He's not that good. So then the other option is probably... I feel like this team can maybe beat him, but I'm just not confident. Um, okay, any other teams with the autumnal sproutling that have a decoy breaker? Maybe I don't need the decoy breaker, but obviously I think having one would be good. Okay, so this team does have a decoy breaker. I don't really like the team, though. And the JSW is not going to be good versus the mechanical. Don't really like that team. It's a meme team. And no decoy breaker. Okay, we have a decoy breaker. I like the enchanted pin, but he's not going to be good versus the mechanical, or he's really not good versus any of these pets. I guess he's bad versus the flyer because the flyer has the flying racial. He's bad versus the idol because of sandstorm, and he's bad versus this guy because he takes strong damage. So as much as I like the enchanted pin, that team will just lose if I get that team. I suspect I won't get him again, but I want to have a fighting chance at a revenge match if I get him. I think this team can beat him. It is called Idol Trollers. I technically have a decoy breaker, but this pet is really bad versus MPDs and TMDs because they do strong damage to him. I guess the Pale Shell Crab can maybe take out the TMD. Uh, this team is 1-0, and I think a draw. Yeah, it's 1-0. It's 1-0 and 1. Maybe we try to get it a win. Are there any other teams that I'm seeing that look more promising? I really wanted to fight him with one of these teams. I'm so annoyed that I got this like this noob team when I was playing this team. Um, hmm. Maybe I'll just pick a fun looking team. So how are we doing? We're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'll go for 2 more wins. So let me just pick a fun team, and then if I see this guy again, what's a team that I like? Okay, I like the Imp a lot, but I did play him earlier. Do I play him again? How would the Imp do versus this guy? Well, he's good versus the TMD. Do I have any Imp teams that would be... So this guy takes weak damage from darkness. I have a Weather Changer. I like this team a lot. So I have a Weather Changer. I have a Decoy Breaker. I have Primal Cry. This guy's not good versus the Flyer. He takes extra damage from Sandstorm. This guy seems like kind of a bit of a weak link here. Hmm. Hmm. Well, I like the team. Let's play it. If I get that other player, I suspect I'll lose, but maybe not. Maybe... I feel like I could win if I don't miss. I feel like this team actually could have won if I didn't miss, but That was a really bad miss, because if I got that... If we replay this game, and I land this Poison Fang, I have my Beast Racial up for the entire duration of that Poison Fang, even if he swaps, which is the most powerful way to use Darkness Pets. He loses his Flying Racial to that one Poison Fang. And so, yeah, him keeping his Flying Racial for free to a 10% miss is... It's not just putting me behind by one turn, it's a lot more than that. Okay, pretty strong looking team. Sandstorm will counter this into the ground, just one Sandstorm pet. My team will have a hard time. I'm definitely starting with Imp, but I have to be careful not to leave him in a 1v1 versus Graves. For sure. I think my win con is... Well, first of all, to nethergate him and hope he doesn't juke. So that's a good start. I don't know if it's worth going for Immolation. I feel like it probably is, though. Let's send it. Let's send the Immolation. I think the way I want to play this is probably... Maybe I stay in for a turn and burn him. What if he swaps here? This guy might swap. Nope, he's staying in. Okay. So we take a dot on our Imp. I guess it's better that it's on him than, say, somebody else. 244. I am slower than him. Okay. Well, yeah. The Imp is just not great versus Graves, so it might be in my best interest to actually just stay in and take some damage here. I'm giving him his Beast Racial, so... At this point, I think I've committed. I have to stay in, and 2 burns almost certainly take him out. Uh-oh. The low roll could keep him alive. Oh, no. It's unfortunate. Got a high roll and then a super low roll. So we got off one extra cleave. That might have been the difference between me having a chance to beat him and not, but we'll see how it goes. Graves is a really strong cleanup pet, but I do have an aquatic, so I have that going for me. Let's stay in on our Imp. Keep burning him until our Imp dies. Do we survive? No, we do not. He got us. Okay. It's a speed tie here. I think I bring in the Leviathan Hatchling, because I can Primal Cry, AoE down Anomalous a little bit. Ooh, nice. And he knows that's what I'm going for. Alright, 2 Tail Slaps should kill him. 205. Maybe I just go for... Okay, so if I high roll with a crit, he could actually die. I think we just go for Tail Slaps. That seems like the move. Yeah, let's just send Tail Slaps. We got a nice high roll. But we took a lot of damage. Alright. Maybe if I like land a headbutt stun, that could maybe still win me this game. I need to just go for high rolls at this point. I don't think Poison Spit... Well... Maybe Poison Spit could be good, because he's about to go for a Consume Corpse and be like full HP. Okay, yeah, the math is probably... Yeah, I don't think I have enough room to go for Primal Cry, so let's just send the Poison Spit. It's going to be 4 rounds, so it's probably worth pressing. And then we're going to go for Tail Slaps until we're dead. We take weak damage, but we took a Toxic Fumes to the face because he made a good swap into Anomalous. I think my only win con here is go for the headbutt and hope that I get a stun. We have a coin toss. If I just stun him, I win. Let's go for it. Oh, we can win the coin toss. That's huge. That means he's doing 25% less damage. No stun. Come on. Come on, come on. Low roll, low roll. He gave me the win. That was good manners of him. Because he gave me the win, I won't play Sandstorm, although his team kind of deserves it. That was very polite of him to bow out there, because he easily could have went for the opportunity to force a draw, and he let me have the win instead of forcing the going for the high roll. I respect that. All right, yeah, he played well. The swap into Anomalous was a good move. He could have played better, I guess, but it's only in like the sense that he could have played like mind games. I'm gonna play one more game, because a lot of them were like kind of very mid games. Like all of these games versus the face team, especially after that first one. The first one was a little exciting because I didn't know exactly what it was running, but then I kind of just had stronger teams. So I want to try to be able to beat him, but I don't want to play Sandstorm because that's boring. So how would this team do? We have he does have a Cyclone Remover, so maybe Clone Dance is a bad move. Plus, all of this team is very low HP. I think I will have trouble if I play this team, although I like it a lot, so... Okay, how about this team? We have the Nightshade Sproutling. He's really strong. He's good versus Anomalous. Squirky is bad versus Greys. And then the Workshop Bot... I guess he's good versus the Beast Pet. Workshop Bot's a little bit of a gimmick. I'm thinking about playing this team, but like, let's say that I queue into this guy. Well, actually, yeah, let's say I queue into this guy. Squirky's good versus Idols. Let's play it. I think this team will probably not beat this player. I think it actually might have a pretty decent chance of beating this player. Because I have a very strong elemental, which will give the Darkness Bird a lot of trouble. Squirky's low-key one of the best counters for idols. Ah, this guy. This is a tough team to beat. If I can win this, it's definitely LG, but I probably won't win. Okay. Let's start with... surely the Nightshade Sproutling. Yeah, if he starts with Anomalous, we can get a lot of work done here. So ideally, I want Squirky versus the Idol. I want Nightshade versus Anomalous, and then I guess that leaves the Mechanical versus the Putrid Geist. That's not a great matchup there. But it cannot be Squirky, that's for sure. Squirky's really only good versus the Idol, so... Do I just send the Call Darkness? I think so. That way I get it back off cooldown faster, right? Because most likely what I have to do here... He just used Poison Protocol while he was blinded. Okay, great. I could swap... Or I could attack. I think attacking is good. Yeah, if he stays in, the attack is good. Could have maybe predicted the Putrid Geist and swapped into, say, the Mechanical, but... I can also just swap to my Mechanical and probably be just fine. Not because the Mechanical's great versus him, but just because I don't really want to be stuck in this, matchup. This is... I mean, I guess the Workshop Bot isn't terrible versus the Idol, actually. Let's go for a little heal. A little heal. Oh, it's strong damage versus Anomalous. He probably goes for Toxic Fume, so let's get up on out of here. Who does that bring in? It brings in my Squirky. That's a really bad matchup. Do I just go for Personal Inferno? Nah, let's just go for Warning. We know he's going to go for Toxic Fume, so we can avoid 515 damage. I think that's worth taking this bad matchup. Now, do I stun him, or do I just swap? I think just swapping is good. Yeah. Man, Squirky's not very good versus either of these two pets. He's really only viable versus the idol. Let's go ahead and blind him. He might go for another blinding poison protocol. He totally did into my blind. That's really the only reason I have a chance is he keeps misplaying with his poison protocol. That was a little bit of a mind game, but the other one was just a flat out misplay. He's going to swap, so let's hit him with Call Darkness. Whoever he brings in. Okay, this is good. So, I could bring in the workshop bot. Realistically, my only option is... Well... Hang on a minute. Let's bring in the workshop bot, actually. This way, Squirky isn't taking that sandstorm to the face, and I can change the weather on him. Also, we didn't take that much damage because... Well, just kidding, I got stunned by Rupture. Okay. Let's bring in Squirky. At this point, he can bring in Anomalous and give me a lot of trouble. I think that's what he will do. Now that he's stunned, I think he's going to swap to Anomalous and try to go for Poison Protocol, because he sees how low HP... Oh, he swapped to the Putrid Geist. Well, either way, I think it's fine for me to... I don't want to play mind games. Let's send the blind. He might swap in somebody, but yeah. Let's see. Yeah, let's blind that darkness. That would have been too much damage to risk taking. And then let's go for called... Let's go for the Lash. If he brings in Anomalous, then a triple can do more damage than a Darkness. Nice. Yeah, that was worth. That was worth. I saved my Darkness for somebody else more important than Anomalous. That was a really bad swap there. This guy should never lose with this team versus my team. Like, if he played correctly, I would be in so much trouble. I think the move here is sacrifice my Workshop bot to eat probably a Sandstorm here. So instead of doing 666 to my Nightshade Sproutling, it does 71. And costs me my Mechanical Racial. I would say that's a fair trade. And then I probably want to change that weather. I don't want Sandstorm out. He might kill me with Rupture. Nope, I survive. Well, I survive, but then my weather might kill me. Okay. If I go for a Warning, I think my Scorched Earth will still hit me. So let's just go for Personal Inferno. It's a nice 401 damage. And he's not getting any damage mitigation now, so let's bring in Squirky. If I was him, I would surely swap here. I guess I could go for Bubble. Let's go for the stun, actually. Yeah. And... I want to go for Bubble, but I think the right move is bringing the Nightshade. If I can 1v1 the Idol with Squirky, I should be in the clear. So, let's send the Blinding Poison. If I don't lose any mind games, I am ahead at this point. We go for Call Darkness. He doesn't have a magic racial to potentially soak it. And he should have swapped, I think. Yeah, kind of embarrassing to lose with this team. He has Sandstorm, he has Anomalous, he has a bad Darkness pet, but still, like, a Darkness pet with 298 attack power. His Darkness is 715 damage. That's a pretty embarrassing loss. Not gonna lie. I mean, what really cost him is he literally used Poison Protocol when he already had Blinding Poison on him. Like, I guess maybe he didn't know how Poison Protocol worked, but yeah, I mean, it's just like any other ability. If you are blinded, it misses. Let's go for Bubble, because I do not want to risk missing under Darkness. And then we'll go ahead and send the Clobber. If it misses, it misses, but at least I have my bubble up. And yeah, it's over for him. He doesn't even have he doesn't even have deflection. Nice. Yeah, then he uses rupture into my bubble. Guy just actually doesn't have his monitor turned on. Oops, you missed. Yeah, you were gonna win if you didn't miss that crush there, surely. All right, that's GG's. Couple decent games, couple not so exciting games, but I think that'll do for now. Might take a break though. That's as badly as he plays, that's just not a fun team to queue into. I guess I could theory craft what would be a good counter team for this. So he has darkness, so the Gleamhoof Fawn isn't great. Nightshade Sproutling does give his team a lot of trouble, but I don't know if I have any teams with the Nightshade Sproutling that I'm like, oh yeah, that should just easily win. Like maybe this team right here would do it. Okay. I don't know. It's like his pets are just stronger than mine. As good as this team is, if he plays correctly, I think this team should probably still lose. If I play this team, I would probably start with a Pulptrid, he would start with Anomalous, and we would just 1v1 and sacrifice these two pets, and then it would be a 2v2 Deathwatch Hatchling, Nightshade Sproutling versus Idol, and then the Putrid Geist. The Deathwatch Hatchling takes weak damage from Darkness, but if he misses, like, anything, I automatically lose because his damage is so overtuned. My god, that pet is so loud. I feel like this team could maybe beat him. I just can't actually think of a team that I think is like, oh yeah, that should just beat him even if he like wins every mind game, or even if he wins every mind game and plays perfectly. He made several big mistakes, but the first one that I remember just seeing myself having a good chance versus him was just going for going for poison protocol while he already had blinding poison on him. The other one was a bit of a mind game. Maybe I was going to press blinding poison, maybe I wasn't, but yeah, the first one was just there was no reason for him to do that. Okay, I feel like Triple Sandstorm is probably the best bet versus him. So like this team right here, Pale Shell Crab, Living Sandling, Akir Tunneler, that would probably shut him down like 9 games out of 10. There's another one. Ooh, what about... Maybe I could try... This could be a good team to actually try the Foul Wing teams into. Although I don't really like anomalous mirror matchups, so... Eh. I'm just excited to try this new pet out because it's really strong. I'm a little sad that the PS is the one that dropped for me this time. So far, I've gotten it to drop twice. The first one was a balance, and I was so mad I just stopped farming it for a long time because it took me like weeks to get it to drop, just to get like the worst breed. At least this time, I feel like the PS is probably the second best breed. But yeah, having that 329 speed with Wing Buffet, that is very difficult to counter. It's going to come down to mind games almost every matchup. And then, yeah, great sting with toxic fumes, very, very powerful. I feel like I had... Okay, there was an anti-triple darkness team. What was that team? Anti... Well, let's just look at counter teams, okay? Because I'm sure it's under my counter teams tab. We have... Okay. Alpine Foxling, great versus the Undead, decent versus Anomalous, absolutely just worse than an Elec plushie versus the Anubis Hath Idol. We have the Living Sandling. He is decent versus the Idol. Great versus anomalous. Uh, kind of even matchup versus the darkness pet, I would say. With the MPD, good versus the magic pet. Decent versus the idol. Mm, obviously not great versus undeads. So it would probably look like he starts with anomalous. I predict that. And start with a living sandling. And I would use quicksand. He would use toxic fumes. I use sandstorm and block all his AoE. And then he probably saves anomalous, swaps to say probably the darkness pet based on how he played last game. So then I could bring the alpine foxling, do strong damage to him, take weak damage from him. I feel like this team would do okay versus him, but only because he makes some mistakes and I think he's a little bit predictable now that I saw how he played. If he were to be adaptive and unpredictable, I still think this team would probably not consistently win versus him. And there is a lot of RNG in his team, so even if he plays not that great, he could always get rewarded with a win, even versus a quote unquote perfect counter. Because there's a 10% mischance from Sandstorm, there's a 10% mischance from Darkness, there's the 25% stun chance on Rupture. I feel like this team would do well into him. I don't think it's like a perfect counter. It's very difficult to counter Anomalous and an Idol or a Karaji and a pet with Darkness because these two pretty much get shut down like into the ground by a team like this, like a Gleamhoof Fawn with two Sandstorm pets of any kind, or pretty much any AoE healing pet with two Sandstorm pets shuts down this counter like as effectively as as I think you. I can't think of a more effective counter to uh, Sandstorm with Anomalous. But as soon as you throw a Darkness pet on there, well, that's pretty much the perfect counter to the Gleamhoof Fawn. So that strategy kind of falls apart as soon as you face even one Darkness pet. And then if you fight multiple, yeah, the Gleamhoof Fawn is. You're basically only valuable for your high attack power and spamming hoof, which is not your strength. You're not playing to the strength of the Gleamhoof Fawn if you're reduced to having to just go for big dam at 260 speed. You know, that's even though it is strong damage versus the undead, it's yeah. You're just better off having three Sandstorm pets at the point that he's playing um, Darkness, Sandstorm, and Anomalous because at least three Sandstorm pets will shut down Anomalous. It'll keep up with the Sandstorm pet, and it'll keep up in damage with the Darkness pet. So I would say you'd pull ahead by about a turn or two if you just run, say, this team, or just like, you know, the Living Sandling, the Karaji, and a Shore Butterfly, something like that. But I don't like playing teams like that. It's super boring. I don't even particularly like playing teams like this unless I'm like, you know, getting pissed off at idols and stuff for ruining my fun. And I just play it because it's very unfun to like this kind of team is extremely unfun to queue into. So if I want to get somebody to stop queuing idols, this would be generally my go-to. Like, get the fuck out of my bracket, team. But I don't know. Leave your comments in the comment section. Do you have any better ideas? How would you approach countering somebody who's playing Anomalous with a Sandstorm pet and a Darkness pet? Am I missing something? Can y'all theory craft for me and help me think of other ideas that might do well versus this kind of team? And for that matter, have y'all been able to think of like better teams that I could play versus this twat? Because I can beat him, but a lot of it boils down to like four different pets in particular. I'm trying to think if there's other pets I can use. The ones that give him the most trouble are so far, the Rose Typin, the MPD, the Pale Shell Crab, and then the Primal Stormling. And those four pets will not do well against a team like this. Like, this team would pretty much shut down every single counter team I've made for him. And he hasn't figured that out yet. The other thing that would probably shut down most of these counter teams is if he starts playing. I'm referring to this player right here, the Twilight Twat, with Blossoming Ancient and Shady Murgleton. Sometimes he swaps like the Blossoming Ancient for like a Darkness Bird or for Itchbite or another annoying Darkness pet or something. Or sometimes he'll just like randomly play like a Gleamhoof Fawn knockoff. But he plays Headbutt instead of the AoE heal, and he doesn't play Sandstorm. So, yeah, he hasn't figured out how to beat, for example, this team. Yeah, this team right here would probably beat this team. I don't know. It would be tough. So this Darkness pet's actually kind of a problem. If I remember right, isn't it 306 speed? Putrid Geist. Yep, 306 speed. That's faster than both of my Sandstorm pets. Oh, and it's just literally one speed faster than the Primal Stormling. That's so unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know. This would not be a fun matchup for me into the Putrid Geist. Not that that's a pet that I see very often, but he does like this player with the anomalous named Ushy Gushy does like to play this team a lot, and very badly, but it's so OP, it doesn't really matter. He usually will still win. Just to RNG and overtune damage of Darkness and Sandstorm and Poison Protocol, and yeah. Anomalous just needs a nerf. All three of these pets need a nerf. I think that Anomalous just needs like a flat attack power nerf, and then leave the moves how they are. I think it's fine for pets to have strong moves, but what really puts Anomalous like a tier above everything else is the fact that he has a obnoxious attack power. If they just brought him down to like 305 or even just 325 attack power, I don't think he would be nearly as obnoxious, even if they were to say nerf Sandstorm's damage in half or something. Because Sandstorm is the enemy of Anomalous. But yeah, also these two pets need a nerf too. Darkness and Sandstorm should be nerfed at least in half. I would not mind at all if Darkness and Sandstorm did the same amount of damage as, say, like Crush or Punch or just a general basic attack, because people aren't using the weathers for their intended purposes. They aren't using them for, oh, well, I want to do 50% reduced healing. They don't really give a shit about that. It's, oh, this attack does as much damage as Surge of Power, and it has no drawback. Well, I guess I'll just use 3 pets with it. That's what's going on in the minds of most PvP pet battlers right now. And then, oh, and it can also make my opponent miss 10% of the time? Well, fine, I guess. Cool, I'll take that. Why not? Oh, and it also passively counters dots and AoE and multi-hit attacks and barrage abilities and, like, like, yeah, Sandstorm's just stupid. Um, I don't mind the passive ability of it, but it's the fact, to me, what's really just stupid is the fact that it does more damage than it should. Just make it do like the same amount of damage as like a peck attack, and then also passively counter all that stuff, because I think it's fine for there to be a weather that counters AoE. Otherwise, AoE tends to be the meta in PvP. But the fact that it also just like hits a pet for half their health is dumb and kind of ruins the game. So yeah, let me know if you can think of like a good counter team to like this idea where somebody's just like, well, I'll just throw Anomalous with a, a pet that has Sandstorm and a pet that has Darkness and just passively win 90% of my games because if I queue into Sandstorm, I have a Darkness pet. If I queue into something that isn't Sandstorm, I have Anomalous and I win for free. And if I queue into Darkness, well, it's like a 50-50. Maybe I'll miss more than him, and maybe he'll miss more than me. And that's basically what the game boils down to. It's very dumb. If you can think of a good counter team for this kind of strategy, let me know. and also this kind of team. Because yeah, right now this is my best team versus him, and if he simply starts playing like a Bone Serpent, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit lost as to how I could maybe beat him. Like maybe I could start trying. I don't know. Alpine Foxling is okay versus the Bone Serpent. The Bone Serpent's just really hard to counter because he, yeah. What I kind of depend on for countering this annoying player is he doesn't know how to play pets with uh, a decoy breaker. So I can just play a pet with a bubble and a pet with a decoy and just get like an extra turn every time I press each of those abilities since he doesn't have a way to counter it. Um, Anyways, I think that's more than enough rambling from me. Gonna gonna call it for there, and if you have any team suggestions that you want to see, let me know in the comments, and I'll try them out. But hope you all enjoyed the video. Until next time.